Hi there, Magnolia May DeSolay here, and today I am going to talk about junk journaling. I have went down another rabbit hole, y'all, but anyway, so I thought I'd talk about what it is and the different types of supplies and materials you might want. So let's start with cover options. Now, one of the reasons it's called junk journaling is you make it out of junk. And so you can use cereal boxes, or this is what I like to use. It's pretty sturdy. You can also go on the Google and look for bookmaking supplies with chipboard or bookboard or some such. But this is pretty sturdy, and so I like to use this. But another thing I like to use is, and this is pretty common in junk journal circles, is Reader's Digest books. So what you do is you just take the pages out and use that as your cover. And this one, now another thing with junk journaling is that you want to make it look old. And so this is all grunged up already by itself, which is kind of disgusting, really. But what you can do is you take your brown ink stamp pad and your little dauber thingy, and then you just go around the edge like that and brown it up and grunge it up is what I'm saying. So there you do that, and then I will show you a little work in progress that I have going. So I got this cover. This is a Reader's Digest, and I went ahead and gutted it, and I glued Tyvek. It's that envelope that you can get at the post office that doesn't rip or tear. So I just glued that in there, and then that strengthens up the spine. And then I have not decided if I'm going to do inserts for a traveler's notebook or if I am going to sew the signatures in and just make it a regular journal. But I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But I'll have a show and tell for that when I'm finished. Do a flip through. So other kinds of papers you want to use is well, that was covers. Okay, so papers, inside pages, you don't want everything all matchy-matchy. And so you can, now, what junk journalists like to do is they like to either tea stain or coffee stain their pages. And you can do the dip, lay, and walk away that Nick the Booksmith does. I will link her down below. Or you can microwave them dry, or you can put them in the oven. And then some people even iron their pages once that's done. So there's lots of different ways to make your pages look all old and wrinkly and crinkly and such. But so let me show some of the kinds of papers that you can use to make your journals. Now, this is what would junk journaling be without Tim Holt. So here's, and what's nice about his pages is that they're double-sided, so you don't have to coffee stain them. You can just use them as is, and you can do pages, you can do envelopes, you can make tags, you can do all sorts of things with Tim Holtz. So that's real good. And then another staple for junk journalers is using, ledger. That's big thing is ledger. This is old ledger too. It's real sturdy there. And then also music paper, old music paper. So there's some old music paper. And then you can use actual pages from books. So, well, I didn't bring a dictionary in, but you know what a dictionary page looks like. So you can use dictionary, but here's a nature book. And this is another theme that junk journalers really like, which is nature, birds, and, well, I just turned to a bird right there, but birds and bird cages and bird nests and eggs and such, and then also butterflies and that type thing. And look at that, y'all. Wouldn't that make a nice, well, you could make envelope out of that, or tags, or even a cover. That would be real pretty. Look at that bird right there. That would be nice. Okay, so you can use pages from books, but not just, nature books. You can use old textbooks. You can use, a friend sent me a thing on thermodynamics, which I think is some sciencey type thing. But anyway, so now here we go with something that a lot of junk journalers do, which is Edith Holdner And now she's getting real, I mean, she's getting more and more, there she is on the back. She's getting more and more expensive. I wonder if these booksellers know why she's so popular. But so here we go. There's Butterfly. But she was a nature painter back in, well, and there we go with the bird nest again. Back in the day, I can't remember, it was like 100 couple years ago. So there's Edith Holdner. And then, well, there's two clubs, camps, whatever, about Jane Austen. And Jane Austen and Jane Eyre are not the same. I didn't know if you know that. I didn't know that. But anyway, I have a hard time with Jane. I'll just read this to you. In this room, they were received by Miss Darcy, who was sitting there with Mrs. Hurst and Miss Bingley, and the lady with whom she lived in London. Georgiana's reception of them was very civil, but attended with all that embarrassment which, though proceeding from shyness and the fear of doing wrong, would easily give to those who felt themselves inferior the belief of her being proud and reserved. Mrs. Gardiner and her niece, however, did her justice and pitied her. What the what? What does that mean? I have no idea. That just doesn't even make sense to me. So now, the thing that broke it down for me with Jane Austen was, as per usual, Emma Thompson. And what I realized was Jane Austen was being sarcastic. And when I realized that, I thought, oh, I get it now. She's just sarcastic and funny, too. So now, speaking of Emma Thompson, I want to show the Emma Thompson of junk journaling, because she just classes anything she's in, and that's what this is, too. We got your lace. Lace in junk journal is you just use lace in everything, and lots of different kinds of lace too. So this is like a cotton sort of crocheted kind of lace, but let me show you. And you can get lace in other things. It doesn't have to be in the ribbon aisle. Like, now speaking of Jane Austen, doesn't this just scream Jane Austen? And this was in the thrift store. So you got your lace here, but then you also got, look at that. Look how pretty that is. So I'll be using that. And then, but then look what I found. And this goes in with the nature theme because of the colors and everything. But look at this. Look at this. Now, this is embroidery, which is another big thing in junk journaling with, who started doing that? Jibinary started doing that. I'll link her down below. And you got your green here. That's real nice. And yeah, that's just, look at all that. I can use every bit of that. And then look at the back of that. Look at that yellow. That looks like the DigiKit that Jibba did for her honeybees. I have linked down below with that as well. And so there's that. And then I have another. Look at that. So I can just cut each one of these out and then glue or sew. And that's another thing with junk journaling. Some people sew on their paper. Some people don't. Nick the Booksmith sews. Cool Mom sews. Trace Fox sews. Of course, Jibbid sews. Miss Amity Bloom, she's a sewer too. And she does just beautiful bikini. I'll have a link down below. Okay, so there's the lace, and then what else? Oh, we got to talk ephemera. So ephemera is all the little bits that you can add. So you got your postcards and your tags and different things. So now, so you can use old things. Let's see. So I got some old flashcards here. So that is real popular. And you can use them just as is, or you can cut these and use them as tuck spot. You know, that's another thing in junk journaling is you got your tuck spots. You got to have your tuck spots. So there's that. And then now this is always keep in mind that you would be tea or coffee staining this as well. But these are library cards, and then you got index cards, so then you can just coffee stain these and then tuck them in there, and you've got yourself a nice little tuck spot. And so you got your index cards. Okay, here's another thing, and especially when you coffee stain or tea stain it, you got your little glassine bags, and then you can put stuff in there as well. You got your tags and whatever, whatnot. And then I got this old letter. You can put that in there, and this is from someone in Ireland, and then she's talking about her achy knees, not niece. And then, but you know what I did? I'll show you. This was from December 31st, 1949. But look at the address there. If you go on the Google, that house is still there. I looked it up, or at least it was a year ago. Okay, so then we got postcards that you can use, and you can just use them as postcards, or you can create a tuck spot with them. And there's a Bon Voyage, and we are in Detroit in this one. And let's see, here we go. There's Rags the donkey. And I don't know rightly where this is from. New Mexico, I guess, is where it. But you know what's real nice about this too is it's written in fountain pen, which I am partial to, so I like that. And then there's Luray Caverns, which is near where I grew up, which is real nice. And then we got, you see these? This is old checks. And do you see this one? Look at that. Look at here. That's how much a doctor's visit was. $4. Boy, I miss those days. And then you can use, you can Mod Podge collage or Mod Podge decoupage, what is this, napkin onto a card or cardstock or whatnot. And then what else do I have here? Oh, here we go. Look at here. I got little teeny tiny cards, and look, there are little birds on there. Again with the birds. So there's that. And then here's some old doilies that I got. Look how much they were. That's how old these are. So there you go. So there's the doilies. And then what else do I have? Oh, I have a bag here. Let me go through here because I know I'm missing something. Cheesecloth for one, and this is real nice because it's unbleached, so I could get away with not tea staining that if I wanted to. So we got that. We got your doilies, which you can tea stain. Now this is an old pillowcase with embroidery, but then look at this. Isn't that classy lace? Look at that. So I'm gonna have to use that. That might go in a good, that might be a good Jane Austen type thing for there. And then, oh, here's another fun thing is burlap, but look at, isn't that nice? All that sparkliness in there. So that's nice. And then we got our linen handkerchiefs. That. So you could just cut that and make it into a tuck spot, or you can make one of the little Heidi flippy things that Miss Amity does. And what else do I have here? Now this, I don't know what I would do with that, but I would do something. And then there's another handkerchief. Oh, look at this lace, y'all. Look how classy that is with the gold in there. And it's all stretchy too. I like that. So that's good. And now, one of the favorite things in junk journaling too is seam binding. And you can dye this. You can dye it different colors if you want, and or tea stain and such, and use it as an enclosure. So, you know, maybe I'll do a follow-up of different kinds of closures you can do with your journals and such. But so there's the seam binding, and I think that's it. Y'all. I do want to say that there is a new website that Hallie and I have put together called Ledger and Lace. And we are going to have weekly freebies on there and downloads that you can just right click and use. It's from the public domain, so it's all public domain images. And so for the first one, we have ledger and lace. So if you go over, and I'll have a link below, you could, well, this would make, of course, that would just make a great page, you know. But then this, you could do tags out of it. If you print this out onto cardstock or back it with some kind of tea stain cardstock, you could do tuck spots. You could do, actually, you could even do that as a journal cover, but or spine even. That would look good. But anyway, you can head on over there, and I will catch you in the next junk journaling video. Bye.